So it has been quite a while since I filmed a video, or that I've posted something, or whatever. I've been in quite a reading slump recently for like over a month now. I didn't read anything in November. The last book I finished and up until recently was the end of October, and then I didn't read anything in November. And just this past week I've been starting to read again, which is why I also haven't been filming videos or watching other people's videos, because I was dedicating my time to other hobbies. I've been painting a lot and I've just been watching TV shows, so I wasn't too upset about not reading. But I am happy that I've been getting back into it because I do want to read all of my books that I have. Since it's been such a long time since I've read these books, this video isn't going to be very long or informative. I'm just going to give you my general thoughts on these books. Very simple, nothing too deep. The first book I have to talk about is Shiny Broken Pieces by Sona Sharapatra and Danielle Clayton. This is book 2 in the Tiny Pretty Things duology. And without giving anything away, I didn't enjoy this one quite as much as the first book, though I'm not sure if that's because I was kind of in a reading slump. Even though this one didn't grip me quite as much as the first one, it was still enjoyable. I gave it 4.5 stars, I think. No, I gave it 4 stars. In this duology, we follow these girls that attend a ballet school, and they get very competitive and try to sabotage each other. You don't always quite know who did what to who, so that mystery aspect wasn't as strong in this book as in the first one. I did really like the ending to this duology, and I ended up loving almost every character, so I definitely recommend this series. It's very diverse. There's a black main character, a Chinese American character, a gay character as well. Also, one of the characters has an eating disorder, so definitely a trigger warning for anorexia / purging, and also a trigger warning for self-harm. But if you're okay reading about those things, I definitely recommend this duology. The next book I read was Labyrinth Lost by Zoraida Cordova. Our main character is Latinx, as well as the author, so it's an Own Voices Latinx book about witches. My summary of this book is not going to be perfect, because it's been a while since I've read it. What I do remember is our main character, Alex. She has these powers, or she's about to get her powers as a bruja. I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sorry if I'm not. But she doesn't want her powers, and she does this spell to get rid of them, but the spell goes really wrong and she has to fix that spell. So she goes on somewhat of a journey with this guy that she just met and her best friend. I really enjoyed this book. I didn't think I was gonna enjoy it as much when I started reading it, but I really got into this. I loved the banter between Alex and Nova, who's the guy that travels with her. What I didn't realize starting this book, I knew our main character was bisexual, but I didn't realize that there was a female-female relationship, and everything was just really interesting as well. The world, the brujas, so these witches, and the magic as well. Yeah, overall I just really enjoyed this book, and I didn't know, I knew it was a series, but I didn't realize that every book follows a different main character, so I'm really excited for the second book. I was a bit surprised to see this one resolved in this one book, but yeah, I think we do have a title for the second book. I don't remember it right now, but I saw something about it on Twitter, and I'm really excited, and I gave this one 4 stars. And the last book I'm going to talk about is Welcome Home, which is an anthology edited by Eric Smith. And this is an anthology all about adoption stories, so whether it be kids that are being adopted or being put up for adoption, or parents that are adopting, or parents that are putting their child up for adoption, any kind of story. There are so many different stories in this, which I really liked, because I feel like if someone's looking for a certain kind of adoption story, there's a pretty high chance, I feel like there's a pretty high chance they might find something in this anthology. Personally, I don't have any experience with any kind of adoption process, so I can't vouch for any accuracy about these stories, but at the end of every story, most authors had an explanation of why they wrote this kind of story and how it connected to them, and a lot of these authors do have experience with any kind of adoption process, whether they were adopted or they adopted kids. I felt like the stories were very diverse. There were a lot of stories in there. Some of them were really short. Some of my favorite stories were by Kayla Carter, Dave Connis, Jenny Kazarovsky, I don't know how to pronounce that, and Sangu Mandana, and I gave this anthology 3.5 stars. Also, this was sent to me by the publishers through NetGalley, so it was a review copy. It already came out in September. I'm just really late to reading this. Okay, I'm kind of losing my voice right now, so I'm glad this was a very short video. If you have anything to say about these books that I have read, feel free to comment down below or talk to me on Twitter. I know I haven't been the best at replying to comments on here, but I saw Sylvia from The Wish Fulfillment do this thing where she tells people to now talk to her on Twitter because that's where she's more active, and it's the same for me. If you tweet me on Twitter or send me a DM on Twitter, I'm more likely to answer that than to reply to comments on these videos. I do try to reply to comments, but I just don't do it as often anymore, so feel free to just send me a message on Twitter if you want to talk books. That was it for this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!